Aloha and good evening. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from World Tourism Network in Honolulu, Hawaii. And with us at this time is the Network for eTober News, Livestream.travel, Hawaii News Online, Aviation, our social media. So wherever you listen to us at this time, this is a taped session. So unfortunately, you cannot join this session live, but you can listen to us and we will repeat it. And then it'll be on our archive. This session is from the World Tourism Network, an organization that was started in March of 2020. In case you don't know World Tourism Network yet, you can go to WTN.travel and hopefully you become a member. It's a good organization with members in 128 countries. And one of the highlights of our organization, besides talking about COVID and finding solutions for the travel and tourism industry, is our Hero Award. Hero is something very special. We have, I think now a little bit more than 20 heroes. And these are people who've done a little bit more than talk, who've done the extra step, and you have to be nominated and you can become a hero. Now, to become a hero is free. We never charge anyone anything for this. So it's a true award. We really want to recognize people in the industry. You don't have to be a minister of tourism. You can be a tour guide. You can be anyone, as long as there's something special you have done. It always takes 2 people minimum to nominate. You can nominate yourself, but someone else also has to nominate you before we can consider such an application. And you find a list of all our heroes and how to go about becoming a hero if you just go to our website, heroes.travel. It's all interlinked. So when you go to WTN or you're on eTober News, you find links to all of the other sites. So don't worry. But without further delay, we have a new hero. And this hero is in Albania, in Europe, and she's with us. It's Professor Dr. Klodiana Gorica. And my apology if I mispronounce your name. She is in Tirana, what is the capital of Albania. Welcome, Dr. Gorica. How are you?
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning from Albania. I'm well, thank you. My name is Klodiana Gorica.
Gorica, okay. And you are, if I understand it, you're a full professor at the University in Tirana.
Yes.
And you're dealing with economic affairs and so forth. And you have been nominated by no one else but the Minister of Tourism. So it comes from the top down, what is wonderful. So tell us a little bit more of what you're doing in Albania and anything you want to talk about. So we would like to get to know you a little bit.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Again, nice to be with you. Maybe not live, but first I would like to say some words regards to me, what I do, what I have done till now for, let's say, at least 30 years dealing with tourism. And after that, I will say some words what we are doing in order to resilience our tourism industry in Albania, but not only in Albania, even in the Balkan. So, as you can told, my name is Klodiana Gorica. I'm full professor in University of Tirana, and I teach entrepreneurial marketing, sustainable tourism management in the master and the PhD level. University of Tirana is the most biggest and best public university, not only in Albania, but even in the Western Balkan region. For this reason, sometimes I am taking some initiatives in order to not only to extend the relation of University of Tirana, but to create a good network within the universities in our Balkan, in our West Balkan, which deals with tourism. Also, I am executive director of Institute for Sustainable Development, Environment and Tourism. It is an institute, an NGO, which is in the it is very active for the moment and is participating in some projects, some initiatives, some volunteers working, creating partnership, etc. So we are a group of international and national experts putting our effort and what we can do in a small institute and trying to create with small money, but big things for not only for Albania, but in general for Balkan. And also I'm a freelancer. I am an international expert with United World Tourism Organization. So for example, the first event that I have done with the World Tourism Organization has been in 2017, where I have been International Year for Achieving Sustainable Development. And they have been 5 topics where you can choose in order to create something special in your countries. And I choose a public-private partnership, with which I am dealing a lot. And so in 2017, in 25 of November, we made our first international conference, so with UNWTO, directly online, with the presence of best experts, professors, public-private partnership, even with within the stakeholders, and we create some models in order to improve tourism efforts. It was present even Mr. Blendy-Klausi, Minister of Tourism and Environment, which he nominated me. So my nomination has been done by Mr. Blendy-Klausi from public institutions, Ministry of Tourism and Environment, by private sector, the president of ATA is Albanian Tourism Association, Mr. Enver from Vast Travel Tours, and from Danica Purg. Danica Purg, she is president and dean of CIMAN in Bled School of Management, and also in Bled School of Management, she has been in this role since from 40 years. And I have been there in the year 2000, having a master in tourism, but we have worked together a lot in strategic alliance between the tourism, women, entrepreneurship. So my topics are tourism, entrepreneurial, higher education. So I'm trying to put in practice what I'm doing really concretely. I'm trying to put in practice, not only in the Albanian practice, but in a very unsustainable environment, all these elements, not to create a theoretic model, but to create the best practicals and best practicals for achieving a sustainable tourism in our beautiful world is to create a network which co-creates value, strategic alliances, a good partnership, and is based on community. So community-based model, which means the community is not only the people who live in areas, wherever, but the professors, the local academics, or all the strategic partners appropriating PPP, public-private partnership, in order to co-create value based on this element. And since I teach also entrepreneurial marketing, where opportunity-driven risk-taking, value creation are several elements from 7 elements that this subject has. The 8th one, it is opportunity and it is networking. So I'm trying to create the best network for which Albania need and need very urgently. Related to Albania, Albania is, I'm not telling how much articles and books I have written, which monographs in international language, or related to my guest speaker or international board, but I present myself regarding what I have done, which is important for my country, but even for Europe or Western Balkan. What is done in Albania is very good. I think I am very opportunistic. So every time I think that good things can be done. Never it is necessary to make only an effort. You always need to go further. So for the moment, I'm very satisfied from the Ministry of Tourism and from our new government, which launched its cabinet several days ago. And we were not going to have any more Minister of Tourism Blendy-Klausi, but another one, which she will be, I think, present in launching online, Mr. Nereda Kumbara, dealing with the culture. So one initiative, it is 100 villages. It is a project of a ministry and the Prime Ministry and academy within university, and I was head of this big group from University of Tirana, which select and create typology of the best 100 villages where the common culture, heritage, underground heritage or community we create in, let's say, in a bundle in order to create the same standard model for this community and to offer to tourists. It is a very good model, it is a very good proposal, it works very well. And now another initiative that Prime Minister, Ministry of Tourism with Economy and Finance are launching, and I'm part of that, is Blue Economy. Since before several days ago, our Prime Minister talked a lot in some international forums related to creating an open Balkan. My initiative has been to create an open tourism platform, open tourism Balkan platform. It is very important that all the international universities, all NGOs and let's say international organizations to create a common general and standard platform like open tourism in order to identify the way how we can extend the tourism product, how we can, let's say, help the people to survive, to sustain their, let's say, their business. And this is based in two models, in co-creation and community-based model. Blue economy combines not only the natural, traditional values of, let's say, of landing, but also of the marine tourism. So we combine product, we create extended product, we let the tourists to stay more than 3 or 4 months in Albania, but even in Western Balkan. So these are two best initiatives. This is my philosophy and my presentation. So thank you.
Wow, that's quite a bit. So I can sense your passion for this, and this is so important, I think, to be passionate about what you're doing and what business you're in. And in World Tourism Network, we have quite a good presence in the Balkan region. So we would love for you to join us. We have an educational forum, what is led by Professor Snesana Stedik in Serbia, for example. We have been working, we started a Balkan chapter, and this Balkan chapter is, the head of the Balkan chapter is Alexandra Gardec-Sevic. She, I understand, is now in charge of tourism pretty much in Montenegro. So we have a good base in the Balkan region. We have your own head of the tourism board in Albania, that is Miss Cornelia Ferizaj. I believe you probably know her. She's also one of our members. So we would love to work with you. And on the sustainable tourism part, we're starting a new initiative together with Professor Jeffrey Lipman. He's based in Belgium, but he has a project called SunX. It's currently supported by the government of Malta. And as you know, Professor Lipman was the first CEO of WTTC, and he also was the Assistant Secretary General for UNWTO, and he brings tons of experience into the subject of sustainable tourism and tourism management. And then we have our good friend in Jamaica, who is very much involved and runs our interest group for community tourism. It's Diana McIntyre from Country Style Community in Jamaica. So we have a good global group, and you might enjoy joining us and being part of it. And we have a few heroes. Actually, the lady in Jamaica is also one of our heroes. And so it's a group, it's really coming together, and so is actually Professor Lipman. So you would be among heroes. So that is very, very important. And so we have been growing, and as you know, our initial interest was really to start a discussion around the COVID crisis. So we started in March of 2020 in Berlin, in Germany, on the sideline of the ITB trade show. And you may remember ITB never took place, But our starting event took place, what we did together with PATA, the Pacific Asia Travel Association, the Nepal Tourism Board, and the African Tourism Board. So we came together and we had an event planned at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Berlin. And we paid for a lot of food, but of course, hardly anyone was there because of ITB closed, but we had some 40 people and we had a lot of food. So it was fun, but that's where we started. And we all know where we are now. But I think with people now in 128 countries, this can be brought to the next level. And Albania is still, I would call, almost a virgin territory in tourism. It's a new country. When I grew up in Germany, all I know from Albania is they're friends with China. And this has, of course, changed over the years tremendously. And it's a beautiful country. I've never been to Albania, but I've seen the pictures, the coastline, and it looks a lot of these things that are maybe overcrowded in other parts of the world are still untouched where you are. And I heard your food is absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we can learn more about Albania and all of this as well. I would love to do this, but I wanted to congratulate you again. I mean, I hope you play a very important role for the development. And this world right now needs leaders. It needs people who have a vision. It doesn't really need a lot of people who follow, because we're all kind of in a leadership position with running this entire industry through Zoom. So this entire system has changed, and we all need to work together. And I make no secret out of my criticism for UNWTO, but I honestly think organizations like this should have taken the lead, and they missed this opportunity. And hopefully there are others. WTTC has been tremendous support and has taken over the role missing by UNWTO in a lot of ways. And we're trying to find our rightful place in this. Our goal is really to help the medium and small size businesses in this world to come back on the table. But Professor Gorica, it was really a pleasure getting to know you for a few minutes at least. And we're going to play this short presentation interview on eTopo News and in our other platforms. And hopefully we can hear from you quite a bit more. I will send you a copy also of this. And if there are any questions for Professor Gorica, feel free to use our contact form. We will forward it to Professor Gorica. And I wish you all the best. How's everyone will ask you this because it is just the #1 topic, but how's the situation with COVID right now in Albania?
Related to the situation of COVID is stable, let's say. We have been open, we have accepted all the tourists from all over the world, and it works. We sustain a lot of businesses, and Albania has been fully. The past year has been 2019, and this year has been like 2019, has been fully. And still it's fully with international. But what I recommend, well, I think is related to the exploring and using some keywords, some element that we have a SWOT, we have a strength based on them. For example, is underground heritage. As you mentioned, you related Albania with Chinese. And as part of Post Action is a platform of European researchers in Europe and international group of researchers in Europe. And I am in a project which is called China in Europe. And I have done several studies related that how are related to the China's impact in European tourism in order to create a sustainable tourism model for Europe. So Chinese as investors and Chinese as tourism, are they bringing sustainable tourism in our Europe? Because if we accept them as tourists, they bring a lot of sustainability, because They want to touch the cultural heritage in every country, not only in Albania. They bring money not in national level, but to this level, so from top down. And they stay not in the very high standard level, but they stay in guest house. So one of our future target segment of the tourism should be and need to be for all the Europe, not only for Albania, Chinese, because they bring sustainable tourism, or they help to create a sustainable platform of tourism. But Chinese and investors, when they come in Europe, is like with Montenegro, they bring everything, even the food, the platform, the management, the stuff we sell. So it is, let's say, not sign when they come as investors. So some models need to undertake in order that we as leaders, or let's say as not only discussion for the future post-COVID, but we need to select those targets that really help Albania to achieve sustainable tourism. We need to make the good investment in those, let's say, for example, in skills, capability, in service, in order to make a touchable product. We need to invest, let's say, in underground heritage. We have a very value, which is from the time of Enver Hoxha, and it is really wonderful. So we can say work a lot with the seasonality of tourism. We can make work a lot with the output and with the incomes, with these three elements that tourism can create in Albania.
No, definitely a very good point. And Chinese is a number game already. You know, you have 1.5 billion Chinese, and the biggest for everything once this world opens again for travel. And that's, I think, we're all waiting. And I'm surprised, and I'm glad to hear that your tourism industry seems to be working during this crisis. You don't hear this very often. I can tell you here in Hawaii, we're also booming, but also our COVID numbers are fairly high compared to others. So it comes with a give and take around the world. So if you manage to keep your country safe and you can accommodate visitors, congratulations. I think that's what everyone is aiming for in this uncertain times. But again, Professor Gorica, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And it was a pleasure and very educational talking to you. And I learned a lot already on Albania, and I think so did our listeners. And we hope to be able to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. You are welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. Good morning. Good night. Bye-bye.